Alright, so once again I'm live coming in with my boy Frank Nitty. He's on and I'm about to get this thing rolling. What's up, man?
Shilla, what's going on, man?
Um, not much, man. You doing alright?
Yeah, I'm chilling. How you doing, man?
Not much, man. See, I'll come on for a little while to break down these psyops, man.
Man,
Coming right up. I ain't even gonna waste no time with it, man. You know, I've been waiting on you 30 minutes. I might well just go ahead and start the psyop all fresh and bright.
oh yes. My bad, man.
No, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
I'll beat you up. Wait, hold up.
Move, baby girl.
There's babies on here.
What you trying to do? What you trying to do? The minute you move, I'm gonna break you up. The minute you move, I'm gonna break you up. The minute you move, I'm gonna break you up. Let me hit you first. Let me hit you first. What happened?
Why is it taking them so long to fight?
Get them up. Get them up. I'm behind you, bro. Come on.
All right, get this thing. Get this thing. Kids over here. Get this thing. Let's just separate. Here, let's separate. Let's separate. All right. Oh, have a seat, my boy. Have a seat. Have a seat. So you stab me? I'm locking you up. I'm locking you up when you get up. I'm like, I got you. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. You stab me. I got you. This is true, but that's still locked up.
I ain't doing nothing.
You get locked up. You interfering with a man's situation. You don't. It don't bleed. I got you. You stabbed me, right? You stabbed me, right? You stabbed me? You stabbed me? You stabbed me?
I ain't doing nothing. No.
You stabbed me? You stabbed me? You stabbed me? You stabbed me?
No, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Get that all the way down, baby. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me
3 shot. Lucky number 3, right? Why was it only 3 shot? Why was it 3 shots? Why did they show them the shooting, man? You notice he stopped recording when he started shooting, right?
Hey, come on, man! Come on, man!
Wow, bro.
Hey, man! Hey, man! They took a long time to get it on.
It did take a long time. It's like, what the fuck? And then old girl talking about she didn't do nothing. Why was she explaining herself to him? Before he even had the gun, she was saying she didn't do nothing.
Boy, hey man, they pulled a doozy with this boy.
Man, this is actor type stuff, man.
Hey, look, hold on, now let me play another one. Hold on. Let's watch out the news.
Recordings just got better.
Look at the news organization.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local.
Now to the subway shooting. Passengers were frightened. A man shot with his own gun. Ariel Reshef joins us live outside the New York City subway where it all happened. It happened during rush hour, Ariel.
How do you take a gun from him? Why would you even take a gun
Good morning to you, Janae. That happened during rush hour. Just to set the scene, that packed subway car full of passengers, when a fight broke out, it escalated into gunfire, causing chaos and panic, and much of that was caught on camera.
This morning, harrowing cell phone video capturing rush hour mayhem as gunfire rang out in the New York City subway. Terrified passengers ducking for cover Thursday evening, huddled together, screaming in horror in this crowded downtown Brooklyn station.
Close the door! Close the door!
So if he was shooting at him, why were they scared though? Why were they scared of shooting at him? He wasn't a mass shooter, right?
Everybody come flying out.
Police say chaos erupted around 5 p.m. after a fight on a train car. Passengers seen here trying to break up the situation, but the altercation only escalating.
He then took that firearm, started walking toward the 32-year-old who was on the train.
32?
Yelling at him, walking toward him in a menacing way.
The 32-year-old man grabbing the weapon, shooting his attacker in the head.
Shots fired in transit.
Why did they show it?
Shooter sentenced. Shots fired in transit.
This video showing the wounded man taken away on a stretcher, rushed to a nearby hospital in critical condition.
Why the aerial view?
And within seconds, officers flooding into the station, arresting a suspect. But this terrifying incident happening just days after Governor Kathy Hochul sent the National Guard into the subway system to patrol here amid a 13% increase in subway crimes so far this year.
13?
Truly 13%? A frightening scene. Ariel, thank you.
Why the number?
Man, they did it again. That's a goddamn man.
These reporters know this.
Damn, man.
Wow, bro. You can't make this up, man.
But look, come on, man. Right, what do you think about this? What do you think about this, man? Where the man that on the stretcher? They didn't show me nothing.
They didn't show you nothing. They showed you some aerial view from way the fuck up top somewhere, a drone or camera, I don't know, or helicopter.
All right, now let me play the last part of this. We gotta get the other stuff, man. Hold on, man. I gotta show this, man. Hold on, man. There were no charges.
We begin with those new details in the Brooklyn subway shooting.
Tonight, the prosecutors there say that right now they will not be filing any criminal charges against the shooter, citing evidence of self-defense. The chaotic scene Thursday happened during the evening rush, unfolding on videos posted across social media. Tonight, police are responding to the terror on board. CBS 2's Doug Williams live in downtown Brooklyn right now. Doug.
Maurice and Alice, the press briefing that went on this afternoon behind me here made clear, at least at that moment, where the NYPD's investigation was. They didn't use the words self-defense, but they mentioned that the people on board that train, the civilians, had to act to disarm an armed 36-year-old man.
Yeah, right. If everybody was cowering, how did they get his gun?
Who shot him in the head with his own gun.
Wait, hold up.
After that,
so they acted in self-defense and got the gun from him. Which one? Did the Spanish guy get the gun from him or somebody else did? Now they're saying somebody else did. I thought they was cowering in fear. In a real situation like that, you ain't gonna try to take no gun from nobody, bro.
Crazy stuff.
DJ, in a real situation like that, you're not. So what are these dudes? Are they Sylvester Stallone or who are these dudes, man? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something? They taking guns from people?
Mm.
We can't
You're
make
right.
this up.
You can't.
Cell phone video inside the moving A train obtained by CBS2 shows the terrifying situation as it escalates during Thursday afternoon's rush hour. It left a 36-year-old man in critical condition after being shot in the head. But Friday afternoon, the Brooklyn DA's office said it would not be charging the man who pulled the trigger, saying in a statement, quote, "Evidence of self-defense precludes us from filing any criminal charges."
Now I got a serious question.
I never heard of
Wait
nothing
a
like
minute
that.
now. New York City is supposed to be a place where you can't have weapon hardly in New York unless you in your house, right? Self-defense, man. Come on, man.
Exactly. As strict as the laws are out there.
Wow. And they for gun control? Now the question got to be asked. Was he illegal?
Oh, because he was exactly.
Hey man, it's a funny stuff, man. I can't even lie, man. It's a funny stuff, man.
Why the Spanish guy get a break? Right.
No, I think the Spanish guy was the one who got shot in the head.
Oh, that's the one that got shot in the head?
I don't know which one it was.
I think it's the Spanish guy. I think the black guy. That's why he's reaching in the thing, in the jacket. I think he's supposed to shot the dude. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then,
well, they said they had an active shooter, so that already threw me off right there.
How yet, dude? If you have an isolated incident with somebody, how's that an active shooter though? If I'm shooting one person for a reason,
let's get back to the joke they running. They ain't really running a good game on this one.
It was incredible what people from the community did yesterday. People who tried to intervene.
Chief Madry and NYPD officials.
So they rushed the guy.
Say,
but there was
the
that motherfucker was over there.
man aggressively approached a 32-year-old man,
though.
eventually pulling out a gun, which was wrestled away. Police say the 32-year-old, who will not be charged, then shot the alleged attacker in the head with his own gun. Police released video that shows the attacker entering the subway station from the emergency exit before the incident without paying a fare. In a briefing Friday afternoon, NYPD officials centered their focus on that.
Why you come through the emergency exit, man? He came through the emergency exit.
And all them police out there, nobody seen that? And they had him on video, right? Nobody did nothing about it, right?
Hey, come on.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, man. Stop. Before I start laughing too much. Hold on.
People ask why would we do such a big operation for somebody not paying the $2.90 fare? We are seeing a small group of
they got him clear as day on that video, right?
During these fare evasion
why
operations,
did you get a clear video of him shooting?
That are recidivists, that have warrants.
Witness who shot the dramatic cell phone video describes to CBS2 the terrifying moments on board the moving train.
But so if they were doing all that, how'd they wrestle the gun away from him? There was nobody over there by them. Who wrestled the gun?
On the subway, and meanwhile, this is happening.
So if an altercation happens in the subway, like you can't get off into the next stop, so it's best to try to de-escalate the situation.
We can't say, "Oh, this happened in the subway is dangerous." No, it's a bigger issue, and if we don't address the bigger issue, we're gonna keep having these things, no matter if it's the subway, on a bus, on a street.
We asked Mayor Adams about the
exactly.
shooting
That's why she said that.
Friday morning.
You got to address a bigger issue. Really?
Sends the wrong message.
What witness is going to say that?
I'm really pleased with the police department being there to apprehend.
Where are they at?
People are not injured.
Wait a minute. He just said to make sure people are not injured. Hold it, man. Did somebody get shot in the head?
There you go. Thank you. They lied. They basically said nobody got hit. Nobody got injured, right?
Oh my goodness. Come on, man. Hey, hold on, man. Let me let this video play. We can break this thing down. Hey, I'm laughing too hard, man. I'm about to go on mute for a second.
And Maurice and Alice, as you know, over the last several weeks, both Mayor Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul have made a point to stress the feel of all this as being just as important as the numbers. If people feel that the subway is unsafe, they need to do something about the National Guard. But today in the briefing, Commissioner Daughtry pointed out that while many saw the violence that happened yesterday, what people didn't see, to his point, was the millions that get to their destination safely when they take the subway. We're live here in downtown Brooklyn. Doug Williams, CBS 2 News.
All right, Doug, thank you. And this morning, police said they're still searching for a woman seen on video with a 32-year-old. Police said the woman was involved in the altercation, but it is now unclear if she would face any charges. You can find our full coverage.
So they old boy in the stretcher, which is her boyfriend or whatever, but they didn't. She ran. How did she get away, bro? How did she get away? They be lying, man. If y'all believe this, man.
Hey man, this is not even a good crafted psyop, man. This is kind of bad, man. They need to do better than this, man. I said, God dang, man, they too sloppy, man.
I just don't see how she got away if she supposedly got away, right?
Listen, everybody broke it up. Man, what y'all doing? Y'all screaming and hollering. What you talking about?
Now, in the real situation, as scared as some people are in the real, they didn't. Nobody looked like they was trying to wrestle nothing away. They looked like they was trying to get the hell up out of there.
So Frank, you think this was a psyop, don't you?
Yeah, that's a big time. You just can't. I mean, it's bad, man.
Hey, I ain't mad at them though, man. Hey, look, man. If you hear hit dog holler, I'm looking at what is oh yeah. I got it. I had to look at my description, man. To find okay. Gotta bring up some other deception. You ready for some more deception?
Oh yeah, man.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play a little. I probably shouldn't play it.
Trucking companies send investigators to accident scenes to protect their own interests. But who protects yours? The truck.
Yeah, let's go with it like this.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know.
I think we all at this table believe nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed. And what we need to do is recognize that far too many people have been sent to jail for simple marijuana possession.
In today's Spotlight, Vice President Kamala Harris hosting the Biden administration's first ever public event on marijuana reform with rapper Fat Joe and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, who has taken executive action to reform marijuana laws in the state and individuals who received pardons for prior offenses. Now, this comes on the heels of the State of the Union message where President Biden announced he directed his cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and said that he's, quote, expunging thousands of convictions for mere possession because no one should be jailed for simply using the drug. Let's bring back my panel, Mike, John, Christina, and joining our panel, ABC News medical contributor and pediatrician at Stanford's Children's Health, Dr. Alok Patel. Now, Christina, will the Biden administration's support of marijuana reform move the needle with voters, especially younger ones, for their re-election campaign?
Absolutely. Right now, we're at a historic high where 70% of adult Americans support the legalization of marijuana. You want to talk about a popular policy with young people, legalizing marijuana, and especially with communities that have been harmed by the war on drugs, because it's not just about legalizing its use, it's about addressing the long-term harm that have been disproportionately impacting, especially Black and Brown communities. You know, we have former Speaker John Boehner that sits on the board of a cannabis corporation where he oversaw policy where thousands and thousands of people were sent to prison for simply smoking and using marijuana. So it is long overdue, incredibly popular, and it's going to make my job of mobilizing young voters this election a lot easier, I'll tell you that.
Now, John, President Biden has used his clemency powers to pardon several people convicted of nonviolent crimes and to commute the sentences of dozens of individuals convicted of nonviolent drug crimes. Now, you're a former prosecutor. Where do you come down on this?
Well, it seems to me that the White House is taking a floater on whether or not this is going to resonate with the young adults, like Christine said. And I think it will to some extent, but let's make no mistake about this. In the federal system, you don't go to prison for possessing marijuana. You go to prison for possessing with intent to distribute. That means you're a drug dealer. That's a very big difference, right? But make no mistake about this. This is a popular thing with respect to young adults. I'm just not sure it's going to resonate and make much of a difference in the campaign. Things like Gaza and Israel, those are going on. They're concerned about his age. They're worried about that too. So I think this will be in the mix, but it's not going to be a game changer.
Now, Mike, according to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, African Americans are arrested for violating marijuana possession laws at nearly 4 times the rates of whites. Yet, both ethnicities consume marijuana at roughly the same rates. How important is it for the Biden administration and VP Harris to speak out on these inequities?
Well, first of all, we look at the inequities of how this even positioned and the conversation's even going, right? When it comes to, as Christina was mentioning, the impact negatively and criminality is involved against Black and Browns. But once you start having the dynamic of opioid use, then it becomes a healthcare issue, right? So I think we have to look at that perspective. John, yes, they are being arrested for drug dealing and drug possession, but what I can't reconcile is that.
That's me.
Wow.
I was asked, so first we thank you for being here, but
hold on, I'm gonna give a statement too.
Okay.
But I thank you, Pat, for being here and taking the time, but really for your voice on so many critical.
All right, now let me say something. Let me address this clown show right here. Number one, this is a political meeting. What is Fat Joe real name? Nobody will use nobody rapper name in this bull crap, man. Come on, man. So that's how you know it's a clown.
Right.
Okay. Just say that's the first part of the deal. All right. So there you go.
In addition to the gift of your artistry, I think. Thank you for being here. Governor Beshear, thank you. I said earlier to the group at the table that you have been an extraordinary leader in many ways, not only for the people of Kentucky, but nationally. And on this issue, I would like to just publicly applaud and thank you for being so forward-leaning around having the courage to challenge certain traditions and critically evaluate whether what we've been doing is smart and what can we do to be smarter. And your leadership, I think, is inspirational to a lot of others. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So I will say that I believe that the promise of America includes equal justice under the law. And for too many, our criminal justice system has failed to live up to that core principle. And I say that with full knowledge of how this system has worked, including my experience as a prosecutor. The president and I have addressed inequities through implementation of long overdue criminal justice reforms. For example, we have at the federal level banned chokeholds. We have restricted no-knock warrants and created the first ever database to track misconduct by law enforcement. This is critically important. That last piece, the first piece may be obvious, but as we know, all too often we have seen examples of where a police officer has been found to have committed misconduct in one region, but then can move to another region, and that record does not follow that individual. And then, of course, the same behavior.
All right, let's stop this nonsense. Number one, a lot of Black people still getting fucked up by the police, Frank. After all this shit you talking. Number one, this is federal law enforcement. Ain't got to do no damn state. So she lied again. Pay attention.
Behavior repeats itself. So the fact that we have made a commitment to having that kind of database is really very significant in the push toward ensuring that we have justice in the criminal justice system. We have also been focused on reentry. Some of the work that I started back when I was DA of San Francisco in 2005, looking at what we must do to appreciate the fact that folks who have been held accountable through the criminal justice system should also have an opportunity, once they have done their time, have paid their due, to have the ability to re-enter and be productive and do what they aspire to do.
So why you keep people in jail longer than they're sentenced for prison labor?
Which is to help support their families and live a productive life. To that end, there are a few things that we have done that are very significant. One is we have now and recently announced making small business administration loans available to previously incarcerated individuals. That is significant because before now, they were prohibited from being eligible for small business administration loans. And I have personally met many people who were formerly incarcerated, who are hardworking, who are intelligent, who are innovative, and want an ability to be able to contribute to the economy of their community, need access to capital, could not have qualified for these loans, and now will be eligible. We have also expanded Pell Grants for individuals who are currently incarcerated. We know that there are many people who, while incarcerated, attempt to upgrade their education with an anticipation, because we know that there is a moment between release and re-entering back versus powder cocaine. And what we know is that the disparity is such that it's almost 100 to 1 in terms of the kinds of sentences that people would be committed to for crack cocaine as opposed to powder cocaine. And historically, we know that certain communities would use crack cocaine versus powder cocaine because crack cocaine is just cheaper. We have also addressed what we need to do around clemency and to shorten some of the excessive crack cocaine sentences. Joe Biden has been very clear about his intention and actually practiced to do that. Again, acknowledging the disparities that have existed and what we have the ability to do to correct some of those going forward. We have gathered today, however, to address specifically the injustices that we have seen in federal marijuana policy. I've said many times, I think we all at this table believe nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed. And what we need to do is recognize that far too many people have been sent possession. And the disparity is even larger when you talk about the subset of Black men and Latino men. So this is an issue that must be addressed. It is work that, again, I've done over the years. We are also doing as an administration. First, I will tell you that we have pardoned tens of thousands of people with federal convictions for simple marijuana possession. And today we are joined by some of the pardon recipients so that we can have a conversation about what this has meant for them as a model and inspiration for what we must do for many others who are not at this table. And their stories, I will tell you, are proof of the importance of pardons and what it means in the life of an individual in terms of allowing them a second chance and an ability to re-enter their community in a productive way. Second, we have issued a call to action for states to pardon these types of offenses, in particular on possession. That is why I've asked the governor of Kentucky to be here, Governor Beshear, who has basically pardoned and has addressed the convictions of people in Kentucky with simple marijuana possession convictions, and they can now apply for pardons. So he's going to talk with us about that as a model for what other states can and should do, and I challenge other states to follow his lead. Third, we have directed the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Justice to reassess how marijuana is classified under the federal drug schedule. And I cannot emphasize enough that they need to get to it as quickly as possible. And we need to have a resolution based on their findings and their assessment. But this issue is stark when one considers the fact that on the schedule currently, marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin. Marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin and more dangerous than fentanyl, which is absurd, not to mention patently unfair. So I'm sure DA is working as quickly as possible and will continue to do so, and we look forward to the product of their work. And with that, I will conclude by saying that the work that we have achieved thus far is important, but more to do.
Thank you.
So I will say that, and I say that with arms, and that some should also be who are hardworking, who are intelligent, who moment between release.
All right, well, that's enough of that. Because I got some more stuff on her. But what do you think about this, bro? This kind of interesting, man. Ain't this kind of interesting, man? Come on, man. You out there in California.
I mean, if those stats are like that, that is crazy, though. But about that being more dangerous than heroin and all that, fentanyl, that's crazy. But at the same time, I just think, I mean, if they want to do this, that's good and everything. But at the same time, I just think this is a distraction. I think they're doing this for votes. They're doing this for votes. It's a distraction. You know what I mean?
Sound like the Tavis Stock Institute, man.
Right. There's a different entity, a higher entity behind this. And yeah, they're just doing it for votes. They know that, and this is a stereotype for black people. They think, oh, we'll get more black votes if we do this, and some certain white votes. If they do that, it's just votes.
Well, look, I'm about to play this for you. Because she went to an abortion clinic.
Damn.
Right now in our country, we are facing a very serious health crisis. And the crisis is affecting many, many people in our country, most of whom are frankly silently suffering. After the United States Supreme Court took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America. How dare these elected leaders believe they are in a better position to tell women what they need, to tell women what is in their best interest. We have to be a nation that trusts women. And with that,
and I'm honored that Vice President Kamala Harris has visited our clinic today. It's a historic moment. Everyone should have the right to access healthcare. Your zip code shouldn't dictate the care that you can access, your race, your socioeconomic status. None of that should determine it. So in 2024 and beyond, we will keep fighting, we will keep working until we live in a world where everyone can access the care they decide is best for their futures and their bodies and in their own community.
It is no way the daggone people are buying this shit, man. This is the funniest clown show going, man.
But you can get an abortion anywhere, though. I mean, okay, certain states probably ain't as easy accessible, but why are they acting like that? It's like it's underground or something like it.
Man, look here, man. Time out, man. Let's get this straight, man. Let's can we knock this con game out the box, man? What state this in, man? Ain't this in Minnesota she at? About to ask a question. How many so-called black people you know living in Minnesota, man?
Right.
Somalis.
Ethiopians, right.
Okay. That's first part. Look at the people who talking in there. I don't care about this shit, but I'm just letting you know. Sound kind of weird, don't it? You know, she went to Minnesota to abortion clinic. Why she ain't go to abortion clinic in the South?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. But she talked about uterine fibroids and cancer stuff. Why don't she call about the things that cause those conditions? See what I'm saying? Let's play another clip of Miss Harris again. The lying bedwench.
On Thursday, Vice President Kamala Harris visited an abortion clinic in Minnesota. This is the first time in our nation's history that a president or a vice president has ever visited an abortion clinic.
I'm here at this healthcare clinic to uplift the work that is happening in Minnesota as an example of what true leadership looks like, which is to understand it is only right and fair that people have access to the health care they need, and that they have access to health care in an environment.
Why they keep calling it health care? That's a trick.
Where they are treated with dignity and respect.
Now, this administration and the whole Democratic Party has championed reproductive rights, even making abortion access a central pillar of their campaigns in recent years. And as even the best of us can be persuaded by recency bias, it's easy to feel as though this has always been the case. But this moment represents a remarkable political shift. Abortion was illegal to varying degrees in every state by the 1880s and outlawed nationally by 1910, except to save the life of the woman. Criminalizing abortion did not make abortion go away. Abortion went underground, making it harder to access and dangerous. The Guttmacher Institute estimates that 1 in 5 abortions resulted in maternal death in the 1930s and the 1940s. Over the next few decades, the debate over abortion access continued, but it was not partisan. Through the 50s and 60s, bipartisan groups promoted abortion legalization, and abortion rights groups routinely endorsed both Democratic and Republican candidates who supported abortion rights. But in the 1970s, this began to shift as Republicans started staking out anti-abortion positions to appeal to religious and socially conservative voters. The GOP, starting with Richard Nixon, began to very successfully package anti-abortion policies and views as part of a so-called pro-family message. Democrats, to a large degree, balked. They could have argued that anti-abortion policies are not, in fact, pro-family, that it is actually anti-family to put the government in control of every individual pregnancy in the country and to bar women along with their partners and doctors from making decisions about not only their own health, but about when and whether they should be able to start a family. Democrats could have argued that forced birth is what's immoral, but Democrats didn't. The fact is, Republicans had a pretty easy time selling the message that abortion was immoral and should be a source of shame for anyone who might need one. Many Democrats at the time were on the same page. As Roe was passed in 1973, then newly elected Senator Joe Biden came out against the decision, saying the Supreme Court went, quote, too far with Roe. The year after Roe was decided, Senator Joe Biden said in an interview, quote, I don't think a woman has the sole right to say what should happen to her body, end quote. During the Clinton administration, Democrats coined the phrase safe, legal, and rare to describe their position. In other words, they understood abortion was necessary and they supported abortion rights, but apologetically. They were ceding to the conservative notion that it shouldn't happen. They were just allowing, charitably, that it sometimes had to. Obama, too, couched his support for abortion in the promise that the procedure should be rare and that his administration would decrease the number of abortions nationwide. Rather than framing abortion as a routine part of women's health care, which is what it is, rather than framing the right to abortion as morally correct because it is crucial to women's health, to human dignity, and the ability to live free and equal lives, rather than challenging the mantle of morality on this issue, even most pro-choice Democrats spent decades treating abortion as a necessary evil. Then Roe ended, and the morality of the issue became crystal clear as we all watched in horror as headlines piled up, women being forced to nearly die before being allowed access to life-saving care, a child rape victim forced to cross state lines for health care, state officials threatening criminal prosecution of anyone who tries to help someone access abortion. And that is how we got to this historic moment, when the first woman vice president in American history is visiting an abortion clinic. We got to this moment on the back of the suffering of women and families whose rights were stripped away after decades of assault from Republicans and neglect from too many Democrats.
Man, that's a bunch of cat, man. Why are they always saying the same old when it comes down to abortion? The same old excuses. Oh, they're not letting women do what they want. That's not your kid. That's not just the woman's kid. I don't understand why they. So, I mean, is having a baby, is that just does the woman have the baby by herself? I don't understand why they're making it seem like this. You see what I'm saying, BJ?
Mm-hmm.
They're making it seem like the woman could just have a baby by herself.
All right, let's get to this.
All right, meat giant Tyson laying off 1,200 workers after closing its pork factory in Perry, Iowa, only later to announce 52,000 jobs for migrants.
That Americans don't want. A human resources executive for the company telling Bloomberg the migrants have been, quote, very loyal. They've been uprooted, and what they want is stability. What they want is a sense of belonging.
Let's bring in Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. Pete, good to see you. Yes. But again, lower wages, taking American jobs. This was the reason why Democrats opposed to illegal immigration 10, 15, 25 years ago. But here it plays out. This costs Americans a livelihood.
That's true. It was also the reason why the Chamber of Commerce crowd of the Republican Party was so resistant to Donald Trump back in 2015, 2016, dependent on importing cheap labor. He said, we're going to build that wall. We're going to stop this. I'm going to put Americans first. Wages will rise as a result. And now you've got an inversion of that with the Democrat Party saying, come on in. And then we've heard glimpses of it, right? When Nancy Pelosi said, who else is going to pick our crops, right? I mean, that's their mindset. And the businesses are happy to do it when there's no e-verifier, there's no consequences. And so cheaper labor for this business to produce a product. And it's not an easy job. You know, people that do those jobs, they're dirty, they're tough, but Americans should have the first shot, and they should have a good shot at a good wage.
And it's so dismissive, the language that they use, that Americans don't want these jobs. Really?
Americans had these jobs.
Right.
And they lost them.
Correct.
Exactly.
And if you thought about paying, if Americans are doing the jobs, they're going to raise the wages for the jobs too. That's all good for everybody.
Shifting gears now to this, the Biden administration sending an additional $25 million to Haiti as 80% of Port-au-Prince is now under control of violent criminal gangs. And now the White House is actively discussing using the U.S. naval base in Guantanamo Bay to process migrants if Haitian.
All right, Frank, what do you think about this, man?
Man, that shit. I mean, but see, why are these people? Where's this supposed to take place at? Where's this Tyson? Where's this at? Iowa. Why is nobody going to the state legislature, to the government? Why is nobody like really stomping Matt? You know what I mean? Like trying to protest this, man. Why are they not trying to go against this? You know what I mean? It's like this is gonna let this happen.
You got a point.
I mean, that's crazy, man. This is against. See, this is discrimination, man. I mean, that's all the state is about. I mean, you know what this country's about? It's about, when it comes down to stuff like this, narratives and discriminating against people, making sure, you know, you get over and up and above versus the next person, and actually shaping the narrative at the same time. That's what it's about. What you think? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, it's all a narrative. Oh, they're hard workers. They just want to work. That's the narrative. And the discrimination is you putting them or making sure they have job security over American, you know, actual American citizens. So it makes you really think. This really makes you really think and question, like, you know, this is a third world country, man. They turn into one slowly but surely. They're putting everybody else's rights before over ours. There is no more humanity. It's all about desensitizing and keeping you desensitized at like all costs. You know, and I don't see why people ain't outraged. But if this was something over abortion or something like that, you would have men and women out there protesting. It's almost like it's provocateurs picking and choosing what to fight for. You see what I'm saying? And what to be outraged over, what not to be. You see what I'm saying, BJ? Does that make sense? It's kind of weird how like these incidents happen. Like even the New York thing with the National Guard in the subway. They're not really making a big deal out of that. That's kind of weird to me.
Now the next topic I'm gonna bring up right quick is a friend of yours. I know you know him real well.
Wait.
A guy named
Greenblatt.
Jonathan Green.
I don't know you.
Want to hear what he says?
Instagram, we've talked about Twitter or X, and you've seen my back and forth with Elon Musk, but we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zion with no repercussions. I've got to ask Chuck about it. We've been on this show. We've talked about Instagram. We've talked about Twitter or X, and you've seen my back and forth with Elon Musk. But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zion with no repercussions. I've got to ask Jeff about it.
Wow.
Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt.
That's him, baby. That's Jonathan.
CEO of the Anti-Defamation.
That's Jonathan Greenblatt, baby. He, the lies and the shenanigans and the propaganda come together with this dude, man.
Well, TikTok ban. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I remember 170 million people use TikTok now. A lot of people open up small businesses with TikTok. So I'm telling you, this is a money grab too now. Just letting you know.
Consider this your sign to stock up on signage. Because right now at Vistaprint, all signs are 20% off. So you can bring.
Millions of Americans who use TikTok are watching closely while Congress fast-tracks a bill that could cut them off from the popular app. After a classified briefing, a House committee voted unanimously to pass the bill. With a rare level of bipartisan support, the bill would remove TikTok from app stores in the U.S. if it is not divested from its Chinese parent company, ByteDance.
The CCP is using TikTok as a spyware tool on Americans. They're weaponizing our kids. They have spread misinformation.
President Biden says he supports it.
If they pass it, I'll sign it.
But not everyone is sold on the move. While top Republicans in Congress back the bill, former President Trump says banning TikTok would anger young people and help Facebook grow stronger. Last week, lawmakers were inundated with calls from concerned users after they were prompted by the app to contact their representatives. That angered the top two committee members who wrote Monday to TikTok CEO demanding that, quote, TikTok stop spreading false claims in its campaign to manipulate and mobilize American citizens on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. Still, some are worried the bill.
There are real security concerns. The question is there a way to meet those without banning a whole platform that millions of people like using?
The House could vote on the bill as soon as Wednesday. TikTok has denied that it shares data with the Chinese government or works on its behalf.
Wow.
All right. Okay. You know this really censorship, right? This is what it's about, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Hold on for a minute. All right. I'm not gonna get into this too much, but let me just pull up BlackRock. is the company that controls the world's governments. So they're also the largest asset manager. I'm not going to play the video. I'm just letting you know they control the world's governments, okay? That's all you need to know. So when you go to TikTok, just remember BlackRock got stake in them too. So don't think it's just about, it ain't about no TikTok. That's bullshit. Okay, point it out there. Anybody, they always try to get you with this boogeyman China and all that. All right, so speaking of Mr. Trump, since that came up, I know even Mr. Trump been in the news today. Talking about this bloodbath thing they claim, right? Which one of them but a lie?
These motherfuckers be switching, man.
I'm like, come on, man. I know y'all ain't following that dumb shit. Now, I'm gonna show you there's always a lie. What did the headline say? Trump makes viral bloodbath comments during comments about auto manufacturer Ohio rally. Did they tell you this? Or did it say something about being a bloodbath?
Right.
Of the United Auto Workers never probably shook hands with a Republican before. They're destroying. You know, Mexico has taken over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico, right?
Oh, they're building them in Mexico. China's building them in Mexico. Wow.
Well, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine, all he does is build car manufacturing plants. He's the biggest in the world. I mean, honestly, I joke about it. He can't walk across the street. In that way, he's like Biden. But for building a plant, he can do the greatest plants in the world, right? That's all he cares about. I said, I'd like to see one of your plants recently. I said, I'd like to see, where can we go? Well, we have to travel to Mexico. I said, why Mexico? He said, because that's where the big plants are building. China's building really big plants in Mexico, and Mexico's building. What about here? Well, we're building much smaller plants here. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So what they're saying, Jim Jordan, is that we're going to make cars in Mexico, and they're going to do. You're not going to stand for that, Bernie, JD. I have a feeling JD's not big into that policy. 100% tariff. They won't sell any cars over here. And I'll tell them, if they want to build a plant in Michigan, in Ohio, in South Carolina, they can, using American workers. They can. They can't send Chinese workers over here, which they sometimes do. But if they want to do that, we're welcome, right? But they're not going to build them in Mexico, and they're not going to do that. We're going to tariff them at 100%, just like I've done. I saved the steel industry. The people that like me the most are the steel companies. But now I've been out for a little while. And guess what? United States Steel, 50 years, 60 years ago, maybe the greatest company in the world, was just sold to Japan. How do you like that? U.S. Steel owned and controlled by Japan. I wouldn't have allowed it to happen.
All right. Now.
Damn.
Okay. So they told you about a bloodbath. He was talking about the automobile industry, man. Come on, man. They got the people again. That dance. Come on, man. Always falling for the wag the dog.
A bloodbath. Yo, this shit is too much, man. When we think about it, man, this shit is Oh man.
Well, no, it show you that it show you how dumb people are.
Right.
All right, then watch what the media say.
Step into Wix Studio, the web platform for agencies and enterprises.
The race for the White House and former President Trump's campaign now on the defensive after his fiery rhetoric at a rally in Dayton, Ohio on Saturday night. Trump warning while discussing the economy that there would be a, quote, bloodbath if he is not reelected in November. This after the former president kicked off the event by paying tribute to those who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. President Biden's campaign swiftly denouncing those comments as threats of political violence. But even Republicans like former Vice President Mike Pence, who says he will not endorse Trump, are defending his bloodbath comment, saying he was referring to imports hurting the automobile industry. ABC's Mary Alice Parks leading us off tonight from Washington.
Tonight, Republicans forced to defend former President Donald Trump's controversial comment while discussing economic tariffs that there would be a bloodbath if he lost the 2024 election.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it.
Trump's campaign pushing back, saying he was only talking economics, writing Joe Biden's insane EV mandate will slaughter the American auto industry. Even Mike Pence, who says he will not endorse his former boss, coming to Trump's defense.
The president was clearly talking about the impact of imports devastating the American automotive industry.
Was that clear to you? Because it was a little muddled.
It was.
But Trump's remark did not come in a vacuum. He started the Ohio event Saturday, telling the audience to stand and pay tribute to those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th, trying to stop the certification of Biden's election win. Many of whom have been convicted of serious crimes ranging from assaulting officers to seditious conspiracy.
And they were unbelievable patriots.
Biden's campaign firing back.
I mean, what I heard was a continuation of the same rhetoric, the same endorsement of political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years.
Trump also ramping up his dehumanizing rhetoric towards certain migrants, with the border battle a major election issue.
If you call them people, I don't know if you call them people. In some cases, they're not people, in my opinion, but I'm not allowed to say that because the radical left says it's a terrible thing to say.
Trump doubling down on his comments today.
That if you don't use certain rhetoric, if you don't use certain words that maybe are not very nice words, nothing will happen.
Now, Mary, the Biden campaign today also said that it raised $53 million in February with the Democratic National Committee, that they now have about $150 million cash on hand. That's a considerable fundraising advantage compared to Trump and the Republican National Committee. They haven't released their February numbers yet, but had about.
All right.
How they know how to? Damn.
Well, listen. All I'm saying is the media were playing a slick con game, telling you, "Oh, really understood what he said." Come on, man, Frank. When you heard it, didn't you understand what he was talking about?
Right.
Talking about economics. And matter of fact, we're in an economic bloodbath anyway. Matter of fact, before I go, I'm about to play it. We are in an economic bloodbath, especially in the hood, man. Let's say in the so-called hood, okay? We're $1 in a bloodbath.
Tonight, Family Dollar is planning to close about 1,000 stores across the country. That will almost certainly impact some Tulsa neighbors who rely on these stores for groceries. But it goes deeper than that, as some say the business model complicates the issues. 2 News Oklahoma's Brody Myers joins us live now to explain. Brody?
Karen, Family Dollars and other dollar stores are often located in what's called food deserts, areas of town that might be lacking a traditional grocery store. Now, dollar stores often carry frozen items, but are generally lacking in fresh produce and meats. All the while, neighbors around these stores balance the want for a store and the need for any store at all. Up on Pine, between Peoria and MLK, is one of more than a dozen dollar stores in North Tulsa. For some who live nearby, it may be their only feasible option for groceries.
I'm blessed to have an automobile. I can shop anywhere I desire, and a lot of people can't.
Rhoda Rhine has lived around here for the better part of 60 years. She remembers the times when it wasn't considered a food desert, but dollar stores are thought by some to attract crime and lower property values. The solution in her mind, making the effort to go to the traditional store.
I want it to flourish. I want this community to understand that we have something besides just a candy shop.
You know, the news that Family Dollar was going to be closing some stores, for me, was good news.
Vanessa Hall Harper represents this part of North Tulsa on the city council. It's under the guise of Tulsa's Healthy Neighborhoods overlay, which puts some regulations on dollar stores opening. On the flip side, it cuts some red tape for traditional stores, like lowering the bar for parking. Some Tulsans rely on these stores for food, others for an income. Harper isn't so worried about that.
And so if they close and we're able to open up grocery stores, then they can work at these grocery stores for better pay.
Ryan understands the need for some store. A local grocer would be preferable, she says, but a national chain like Walmart could work too. But before any of that can happen,
we need to support what's in our community and not be treated as, well, we'll just give them a crumb and they'll be happy.
there are more than 40,000 dollar stores across the United States, nearly double all of the McDonald's and Subway's locations combined.
Well. Just sound like they're trying to put you in economic ruin, brother.
But see, the thing is, why didn't they handle the food desert thing before all this though? It sounded like that's how they was trying to handle it. Right. It sounded like by putting more of these around the areas. And see, that's process, but that's a lot of processed food though. They talking about they relying on the places to get their groceries. Damn, that's a lot of processed food, man.
Well, you know the old saying, Frank. Hey, all they doing now, they're just saying, "Hey, get ready for the apocalypse, baby."
And you notice how those are in that's in the so-called black area too, of town, right?
Wait, hey man, where you think it was gonna be at, man?
That's messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? That's messed up. But look, with the whole
they're not closing a lot of Dollar Trees. They're not closing a lot of Dollar Trees though. Notice that they're closing more Family Dollars.
Family Dollars.
970 Family Dollars to be exact, or be close to exact. And I think 30. So you got to understand that Dollar Tree is usually like we got one down the street. It's closer to the suburbs, while Family Dollars is mostly in the so-called urban areas. Yes. So you just remember that. Now, one last topic I'm going to play here.
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help you have fewer asthma attacks and breathe better. Tespire is an...
Might be two, actually.
I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way.
First tonight, our investigative reporter Ann Emerson has new information in the death of Boeing whistleblower John Barnett. A close family friend of Barnett says he predicted he might wind up dead, that a story could surface that he killed himself. But he told her, don't believe it. Ann?
Tessa, Barnett's family friend Jennifer said they had talked about this exact scenario playing out. But his words seemed like a premonition. He told her, don't ever believe it.
I knew John because his mom and my mom are best friends. And so over the years, get-togethers, birthdays, celebrations, and, whatnot, we've all got together and talked and, That's how we really know each other.
And when Jennifer needed help one day, Barnett came by to see her. They talked about his upcoming depositions in Charleston. Jennifer knew he filed an extremely damaging complaint against Boeing. He says the aerospace giant retaliated against him when he blew the whistle on unsafe practices. For more than 30 years, Barnett was a quality manager. He'd recently retired and moved back to look after his mom in Louisiana.
He wasn't concerned about safety because I asked him, I said, aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. You know, I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Not true. He's got too much to do, likes breathing. And he did. He had a lot of plans of things that he wanted to do.
What do you think happened?
I think somebody got in there and made, money can buy anything nowadays, it seems like. And there's a lot of evil in this world. I think somebody didn't like what he had to say and wanted to shut him up and didn't want it to come back on anyone. So that's why they made it look like a suicide.
The last time she saw Barnett, it was at her father's funeral in late February. He was one of the pallbearers. Sometimes family and friends referred to him by his middle name, Mitch.
I think everybody is in disbelief and can't believe it. And I told everybody that I don't care what they say, I know that Mitch didn't do that.
And just because Mitch Barnett.
Next tonight,
So what's going on, Frank? They claim that a lot of people, is been a lot of killings or whatever. This is one right here, but I'm talking about the one with the born whistleblower. Some people say he found dead. They say that, I'm like, come on, man. Y'all know damn well that man didn't kill himself, Frank. Come on, man.
Right.
But that's what they run with.
That violence claim, man, that you got to keep, it's an election. You got to keep that going.
Yeah, the man had been talking for a week about where he had testified about the planes being defective. And then he comes up dead. So you pretty much know they suicided his ass. All right. Don't mess with the Creed people, baby. Don't mess with the Creed people.
When people got power, man.
Now listen. Here we go. Last one.
Details about a cross-country killing spree. Police identifying the suspect in the murder of a New Mexico State police officer as Jeremy Smith. Authorities also linking him to a female paramedic who was found dead in South Carolina. Police say he was driving her stolen vehicle when the trooper was shot and killed. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Tonight, an urgent search for the suspect wanted in 2 cross-country killings of a New Mexico State police officer and a paramedic in South Carolina.
Jeremy Smith, we are coming for you.
Police say 33-year-old Jeremy Smith is a person of interest in the death of 52-year-old Fenicia Machado IV.
33?
Damn.
Got you again. There you go.
In Dillon County, South Carolina, who was reported missing on Thursday. Then, police say Smith drove her white BMW across the country to Quay County, New Mexico, where he got a flat tire early Friday on I-40. 35-year-old officer Justin Hare dispatched to help. Smith caught on dash cam video.
Without warning, the suspect pulled out a firearm and shot Officer Hare. Smith then walked to the driver's side and shot Officer Hare again. Smith pushed Officer Hare into the passenger seat and drove away in Officer Hare's patrol unit, with Officer Hare still inside.
Authorities say Officer Hare's radio Duress signal went off. Another officer dispatched saw Hare's patrol car driving at a high rate of speed, ultimately finding the patrol cruiser empty on the side of the road and Hare injured nearby.
The last words Officer Hare uttered on this earth was to offer help to a man who was about to kill him.
Smith is considered armed
Why you
and
say it like that?
dangerous.
Extensive criminal history, the majority of which is in South Carolina. Goes back for at least a decade.
With the New Mexico State Police Chief says there's been 3 officers shot and killed in the line of duty just within the last 9 months alone, noting that before that, it had been 30 years since a state police officer was killed. With
Truly disturbing details. Melissa Adon for us. Thank you.
Hey, man.
30 years.
There's been 3 officers killed in the last.
Damn.
Come on,
I
here we go.
mean, it
God
makes you
damn.
think. It's kind of like concerning, man, because it makes you think, like, damn, what they keep using this language, these words in this language. and all
Okay,
this
now, why are you gonna shoot the guy and drive off with the police vehicle? That's the number one thing I want. Come on, that's an easy catch. Come on,
Right.
but
The
and then you
boogeyman-
just happen to get a flat tire, man. Come on.
Man, you can't make this stuff up, people.
Hey, man, I got to give them credit for one thing, man. They check all the boxes, man. They check all the boxes, all the psyops, everything. Give them credit. But anyway, that's enough. I might come back on tomorrow one more time and break down something. Chak was supposed to be on, but he never, maybe he sleep or something. I don't know. Hey, man, it was St. Patrick's Day, man. Luck of the Irish. Shit. I was trying to avoid getting pinched by a leprechaun because if I did, I won't. I would have had to pinch him. I had to punch him back. I ain't doing no pinching. I'm gonna punch him back.
Man.
Anyway, I don't understand why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day anyway. When if you look at the history of St. Patrick's Day, there's something you should be celebrating. But then again, we got Easter coming up, so that's another thing.
Is that the last thing you just said?
We got Easter coming up too. So, but nevertheless, shout out to information, brother.
Man, shit, good looking out for having me on. You know what I'm saying? Word, appreciate it. Shit, y'all could hit me up. You know what I'm saying? XX Frank Nitty XX on YouTube. XX Frank Nitty XX on Instagram, and then Frank Jones 8115 on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Holla at me.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been crazy, man. You know, Dawson. Came on kind of late, but we talked about Kamala. Her you gotta go back and watch it. This shit funny as hell. We talked about the fake subway shooting and all that. As a matter of fact, you know what? You came on for 1 minute. Let me play one thing. You know, Frank, it's always good to have a replay. You know what? We talk about Family Dollar clothes and all that. Play this. Frank, can I play the clown one more time? Can I play the clown one more time?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, let me go ahead and play the clown one more time.
Vice President Kamala Harris today became the first sitting vice president or president to visit an abortion clinic. The Biden campaign hopes that by putting reproductive rights front and center this election cycle, it'll motivate voters to go to the polls. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports tonight from Minnesota.
The reporter said, well, you've made history, I guess, again, because, I did. But
the vice president made history with a half-hour private tour of an unassuming spot, a Planned Parenthood clinic in St. Paul.
The reason I'm here is because this is a healthcare crisis.
The clinic has seen a 25% surge in abortions since 2 neighboring states, along with several others, enacted full abortion bans.
And Dr. Please.
Dr. Sarah Traxler is the chief medical officer.
Our new abortion landscape is difficult. It is dangerous, and it is putting my patients and healthcare providers at severe risk.
The visit was the last stop.
These extremists, they're trying to take women back to the 1800s. We
Whoa!
must restore the protections of Roe.
The issue is a top focus for the Biden campaign, and here's why. 57% of Americans say the overturning of Roe v. Wade nearly 2 years ago was mostly bad for the country. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Is this the most animating issue for Democrats in your state right now?
Well, it's one of them. I think people are passionate. We're passionate people. We vote in very high numbers. But I think at the end of the day, it's the one that is most personal and feels the most threatening. And it's the one that's real.
Donald Trump, who attended a hearing in his classified documents case today, has strategically declined to say if he backs the 15-week national abortion ban favored by some Republicans.
We got some legal news today in another one of the 4 criminal cases that Trump is currently facing. The Manhattan DA offered a 30-day delay in a trial that was supposed to get underway in just a couple of weeks.
Let me, you know what, Dawson? Just for you, I'm gonna just, you know what, Frank? I gotta play 2 topics because I want to play this because I might forget to do it tomorrow. So hold on. There she is again, Frank.
For simple marijuana possession. And the impact is such that, in particular, Black Americans and Latinos are 4 times more likely, 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession. And the disparity is even larger when you talk about the subset of Black men and Latino men. So this is an issue that must be addressed. It is work that, again, I've done over the years. It is work that we are also doing as an administration. First, I will tell you that we have pardoned tens of thousands of people with federal convictions for simple marijuana possession. And today we are joined by some of the pardon recipients so that we can have a conversation about what this has meant for them as a model and inspiration for what we must do for many others who are not at this table. And their stories, I will tell you, are proof of the importance of pardons and what it means in the life of an individual in terms of allowing them a second chance and an ability to re-enter their community in a productive way. Second, we have issued a call to action for states to pardon these types of offenses. Here, excuse me, Governor Beshear, who has basically people in Kentucky with simple marijuana possession convictions, and they can now apply for pardons. So he's going to talk with us about that.
The fact that she got Fat Joe sitting up here in a suit, man, this is some funny shit, man. But the funny thing, when she addressed him, she called him Fat Joe, Frank, and like I said, nobody at a meeting gonna call somebody. Well, I mean, y'all
right. You're not gonna call somebody the rap alias. The rap alias, dude. That's just like when somebody is on trial, they kept calling him Tupac. You don't call nobody no stage name, man. That you know what I'm saying? That's not your real.
Hey, Dawson.
You know what I mean? Like,
let me say something. Hey, Dawson, you want to call in for a second? You can actually, but just call because I was really just about to get off. But you can call my regular line. You want to call my regular phone if you want to get on this conversation way quick, because it's another topic on here where they say that LGBT people are declining. Yeah. People not buying this game. Yeah, call my phone right quick, shit. Hey, yeah. Call me. Yeah, because I ain't got the other phone. Shit, I ain't. This is some funny stuff, man. So, all right, this is her calling me. Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Frank, can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me just give you a rundown. We talked about this. We talked about the New York subway shooting. You saw that? If you see that video, that looks so fake. But I ain't even get into it. Then we talked about Tyson Foods. They say they want the immigrants to be, working for because they loyal and they want stability and they have been uprooted. That's what he said. Americans don't want to do these jobs. Then they got what did I talk about, Frank? Oh, yeah. We talked about the Dollar Tree, the Family Dollar closing. And of course, we talk about the pale one, right? Sitting up here with Fat Joe. What is Fat Joe's real name? I gotta look at this man's real name, man, because this thing kind of funny, man. But nevertheless, she talking about she been fighting for fair justice since 2005. Since she been a DA in San Francisco. I said, this woman has got to be crazy as hell. I said, this woman, damn, this woman funny.
She my cousin them got behind her there in San Francisco, and they only had some. They didn't have no weed. They had some flakes.
Hey, look.
In their car, some flakes, okay, and got locked up. Behind her, they can't stand up there. I just went up there for my grandfather. They don't like that.
I know. And in our friend Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt also, he came out.
Oh my God!
He said that TikTok is Al Jazeera on steroids, and it must be stopped because there's too much anti-Semitism going on the platform. So
now he gave y'all a playbook.
Oh, he said
I know why they really going after TikTok. He just told y'all.
He said anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. Yeah. He said it's Al Jazeera on steroids. Ain't that what he said, Frank?
Yep.
So, what you think about this little since women going back to the 1800s and all that? They going back with the coat hangers and all this other nonsense. What do you think about this funny stuff, man? This is what funny, ain't she?
This is a lady who don't even have kids. Like, so I'm not understanding. But I get it. They promote the adult culture, right? It's still murder. You murdering babies. You don't have a child. I'm confused. So how can you speak on this? But look, she never said she ever had an abortion, had she, BJ?
Ooh.
Did you catch that? She never said she had an abortion. See?
Well.
So, who are you to be speaking on reproductive rights? Then they never tell you the downsides of having it. You want to know why a lot of white women can't have kids infertile because they got all this scar tissue from all them abortions they had. Or what should fallopian tubes. Yeah. You heard, y'all remember what that white lady said when the Supreme Court ruled? And she was at that rally where all the people said this is a good day for white people and white life. Hey. Y'all heard what that way, and then she walked. Y'all heard what she
I heard what he said, but let me bring up this clown right here. By the way, she looking more pale every day. I see. I said, dang, that one get kind of pale. Is this a chameleon or something? But what I'm saying, they're doing that. And then they dress it up when they talking in the meeting, like they said, no woman should be denied the right to health care. I said, well, wait a minute. Why y'all keep calling this health care?
So what about all the women of war culture that's dying in the hospital from giving birth?
Yeah,
why she ain't speaking on that?
When she talking about uterine fibroids and things like that, she like this. Oh my! I said, come on, man. Hey, look, you're right. She never did say that she have an abortion.
Is she a doctor? She not even a doctor.
Hey, look. Okay. Remember, under the Biden administration, everybody became a doctor. Your family member was a doctor. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I ain't even trying to go to that far, but I can. But everybody was a doctor. I mean, where you get your research from? Oh, they say that on MSNBC. Right,
they said on CNN, MSNBC, they was in all through that. They was the doctors, the surgeons, and everything else. The researchers, the microbiologists, the virologists.
That I know. Now the question is about Miss Harris, since she's sitting up here on this thing with it. Oh, look at my boy Fat Joe up here. Yeah, look at Fat Joe. So then she like, let me talk Fat Joe. I'm like, wait a minute. And they got the governor of Kentucky across from her. I don't know who everybody else, but she made sure she had Fat Joe in the back. And check this out. She started talking about Black and Latino men. So I said, well, wait a minute. Frank, she said that to appeal to Fat Joe. See, that was let you know that Fat Joe in the house right there. Okay, pay attention. So they, and I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, you got some Latino men that got locked up behind some marijuana, but guess what? They're not telling you. A lot of them are major distributors too. Okay.
That is true.
Okay. So a lot of us went to jail for puffing. Not saying something. And that's another thing. She's a liar because this got to do with federal marijuana charges. They can, come on, man. They don't have to go to Congress for all this stuff. And then she, in the interview, Dawson, 17 minutes long, she also talked about crack cocaine disparity and why it need to be. She was like, people don't need to be going to jail for a rock versus powder. She was like, that's ridiculous. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't your boss set this up?
Let me tell you something. If y'all still respecting him and Jim Crow, Joe Biden, I'm talking about Gay Obama now. They talking about crime and all this. Why they never amended that crime bill? She talking about marijuana and crack cocaine charges. That's all under that crime bill. Like you said, her boss. So why he not at the table? He the one created and drafted it.
Yeah.
Why he not at the table?
And
she had nothing to do with that. Now she locks your ass up. That's what she's there for, to lock you up.
Well, I say it's a very, very sad day in America when people. I ain't never seen this before. And guess what? And matter of fact, the lady said they had a panel before this I played earlier, but they said, "Oh yeah, this will really get young voters to come out to the polls because that's how we're gonna use our strategy. Young voters gonna like this." I'm like, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. I think, come on. Hey, look, man.
But how do they benefit all culture people as a whole? All us don't smoke and use or sell marijuana. How they benefit all of us?
Man, look here, man. These young people smoking vapes, man. I was there.
Everybody else walk around with a vape now.
Hey, look.
Right.
I was there.
From young to old, everybody got damn vape. Exactly.
Hey, look, I'm out at the river today, laying down in the sun, man. And when I walk across, a young boy walk across with a daggone vape right in my face. He's like, "How you doing, man? Got a vape in his hand. Man, get out of here, man." Man, they don't need no daggone weed no more, man. Come on, man.
The weed is synthetic anyway. Did y'all see who was distributing the weed when they start pushing and legalizing? George Soros. He was creating synthetic weed.
Yep, Tavistock Institute. Now I'm good. Now let me bring this up. We played this thing with Trump because Trump made a comment yesterday and they said, "Oh, you're trying to cause a bloodbath." He was talking about the car manufacturing industry. I said, the dude me said, "Oh, he's threatening political violence." I'm like, come on, man. God damn. I said, y'all fell for that game. I had a guy talk to me about it earlier today. He said, "Man, did you hear what Trump?"
But what did Trump say when they say that, BJ? What did Trump tell you how to reply? Just said, "Oh, you got Trump derangement syndrome."
Yeah.
That's how he shut them up.
I had the guy, he was talking to me today. He said, "Man, did you hear what Trump said last night?" I said, "No, what did he say?" He like, "Man, he talking about committing another January 6th. Like, what the fuck he talking about?" I said, "Let me look this up." He said, "He's talking about a bloodbath." I'm like, wait a minute. I said, "Let me listen to this thing." And I called Frank Girl. I said, "We're gonna do a show tonight on this because the man was talking about taxing China 100% on tariffs if they." That's what he said. So I said, no, wait a minute now. I said, and they said,
remember they chopped up Trump when he said they chopped it up in bits and pieces. Remember, wasn't he suing, or did he sue? What was it, CNN, MSNBC?
yeah,
that?
yep, you're right. So but it's interesting that they would do this. And I sitting there saying, and then you had, matter of fact, in Texas, in South Texas, I think you got a woman named Mara Flores running. And as a matter of fact, she got a guy that's running against her. I think his name Martinez or something. And he said Latinos voting for Trump is like Jews voting for Hitler. So, wait a minute now. See, y'all getting this. I see y'all getting this Hitler now, okay? Now, I ain't gonna do this tonight, but I'm gonna do this one day. We got to pull up that Hitler was on the cover of Time magazine. Let's knock this shit out. They got well, but the truth is he was. And yesterday, matter of fact, last night, Frank, while everybody was asleep, the NWC Image Awards was yesterday or whatever, but they actually gave out some award to The Color Purple. I said, y'all got to be some losers, man. Y'all said the movie flopped. Why they get the award?
Damn, wow, man.
Oh my goodness. But what I'm saying, the gloves is off. We're in election season. Frank, don't forget that McDonald's, went offline the other day. South Africa and a lot of countries that, been talking against Israel, they didn't have no internet. All right? You heard what them South African people told? They told them Israelis, if you're going over there committing genocide, you're going to lose your dual citizenship. We better not catch you committing genocide on nobody. So, just pointing it out there. So, we in a world of, well, let me take that back. The people that know are not in trouble. Like I said, I'm dry bones today. I can sit back and laugh every day because I know that I ain't going to be one to get mad. The people who got lied to going to be the ones to get mad. Yeah. See, I can sit back and laugh and, that's why you always see me laugh because I say this shit is funny. I mean, come on, man. This thing is like a big clown show, but you got to understand, how the hell are they pulling this off? Now, before I go, I'm gonna bring up this one thing because they brought it up. And they brought it up that the support for LGBTQ protections is what is going down. People ain't supporting it because people getting tired of getting socked in the head with this nonsense all the time. But I like what you're saying on these comments that this whore hag is talking about women back to the 1800s. I want you to clarify that comment because that's funny, man.
Well, first of all, what she know about going on with a woman was dealing with in 1800? I can see she said 1930 or 40 or 1800. This lady makes no sense. I mean, didn't they say she was the one talking inebriated one day? Said she had a few cups of alcohol. I mean, look at her on that meeting with Fat Joe. She clearing her throat, mixing her word. This lady is alcoholic.
Is she? Let me ask the question. Is she what we used to call back in the day a ding dong?
There you go.
Ding dong. Knock knock up there. Nobody home. Ain't nobody home up there, baby.
Nobody. She was, remember, for her ratings lower than Joe Biden. Remember?
Hey, look. All I know is one thing. She can ski wee real good. Ski wee. And check this out. For the record, Howard University made tournament tonight. They're gonna play Wagner University, another HBCU, by the way, right? Notice they got Grambling University in the tournament too, by the way. But if Howard wins, they're going to play North Carolina Tar Heels in Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way. And if Howard win that first game, I would not be surprised if she make an appearance in Charlotte, North Carolina to support her alma mater. So that's why I told you, Frank, Howard University would win that game yesterday. I said it, Frank, because guess what? And they won by exactly what? 3 points. As I said.
Damn. You can't make this stuff up, man.
I always say, I wouldn't want my child going to Howard University, not with all that nonsense.
I don't know who's sending their kids to Howard. I wouldn't do it.
Now we, hey, look, Joe Biden got to speak at Howard. Everybody get to speak. But I'm gonna
straight cannon fodder.
But
just uses this cannon fodder.
But I'm gonna play this. I think it's about a 7-minute video. You go ahead and stay in the chat, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna play this thing to show you this thing with LGBTQ. This ain't nothing but a charade. Anytime they tell you that this support is up and the majority of people support this shit is dropping like a flat fucking rock.
Yeah, do the opposite.
Yeah. Anytime they say, if they tell you up is down, you go down. If they tell you go up, if they tell you go right, go to the left. Hey, look, maybe that's why, this is a joke, but maybe that's why when Kyrie Irving hit that game-winning day for Dallas, he shot it with his left hand from 20 feet and made the game-winning shot. Maybe that's why. Just putting it out there, but yeah, I'm gonna play this video. Take your time.
Okay, BJ.
Oh shit.
All right, Dawson. All right.
Hold on. Watch this. Woo. Watch this. Watch this.
For the last few decades, the story of LGBTQ plus rights in America has been one of increasing public support. But now a new survey finds that for the first time in years, there's a slight decline in that support. William Brangham takes a closer look.
Throughout 2023, the Public Religion Research Institute, or PRRI, interviewed thousands for its American Values Atlas. Last week, its finding on survey showed for the first support fell policies regarding LGBTQ rights. Backing for same-sex marriage dropped 2 percentage points, or for non-discrimination points, and opposition to people refusing services based on religious grounds dropped 5 points. To help us understand this data, we are joined by CEO of PRRI, Melissa Deckman. You have been doing this survey for years, and
And so we saw much deeper declines, for example, among Republicans in terms of their support for these issues, whereas the Democrats tended to stay relatively stable. And I think what's happening is that you see many Republican leaders in red states really trying to amp up the volume, so to speak, on LGBTQ rights and really trying to claw back some of those rights across the country, and Republicans especially, on issues with respect to LGBTQ rights.
in your survey, you're talking to people who both affiliate with a particular religion and also non-religious people as well, correct?
That's right. So our surveys are done among us nationally. One great thing about the AVA is we also have enough data to look at opinions in all 50 states. But essentially, we get a snapshot of all Americans, including people of faith and people who are unaffiliated. I think it's also important to bear in mind that despite these declines that we've seen, the vast majority of people of faith continue to support the rights of LGBT Americans, especially with respect to same-sex marriage and non-discrimination laws.
A 2% decline or a 5% decline is not that substantial. Why does this really stand out to you?
I think it stands out because with respect to LGBT rights more generally, there has been a growing increase in support among Americans. And part of that is a reflection of the fact that more Americans are LGBT. So younger Americans, more Americans have friends, they have colleagues. So there has been this trend as we become more, I think, accepting of LGBT Americans in our daily lives, that it would just naturally lend itself to people being more supportive of protecting the rights of LGBT Americans. But I think this data shows you that that's not necessarily an assumption that is true. And so it's something important to monitor and keep aware of.
I mean, is it perhaps also possible that as people start to identify more publicly and assert their rights and take a more prominent place in society, that we could be seeing the traces of a clash here?
I think that's exactly what you're seeing. One of the things that we analyze in the report is we look at the relationship between Christian nationalist views and support for LGBT rights. And as you might imagine, Americans who have a tendency to support Christian nationalism are far less likely to support the rights of LGBT Americans, in part because of a theological opposition to the idea of really homosexuality and being queer to begin with. And so I think that there's that important relationship there that we have to really keep in mind.
Could you talk about, are there other below the top lines here, other data points that were of interest to you?
We were really surprised in our findings that younger Americans have trended downward with respect to support for LGBTQ rights. If you look at our data, we find that roughly 1 in 5 Americans aged 18 to 29 identify as LGBTQ. But yet what's happened over the past couple of years is that there's been a slight decline among younger Americans. I think the assumption was that because younger Americans are more likely to identify as queer, that we'd always have younger Americans being more supportive. Again, though, you have to look under the hood. It's really party polarization that is driving down support among younger Americans for same-sex marriage, for example. So one number really stands out to us. If you look at young Americans' attitudes about same-sex marriage, in 2020 among Republicans, 2/3 supported same-sex marriage rights. But in last year's data among young Republicans aged 18 to 29, it's less than half. That's a really big cratering of support. I think there was often an assumption among many political analysts that younger Republicans would moderate the party with respect to things like LGBTQ rights or even abortion rights or climate change, et cetera. But what we're finding in this data is that younger Republicans are very conservative socially.
So interesting. For people who are LGBTQ or work to help solidify their rights, what does this survey data tell you about what work lies ahead for them?
Well, I think there's the survey data really points, as we like to say, the canary in the coal mine idea that you can't assume that such rights are going to be held in perpetuity or will increase. And you can also assume just because the vast majority of Americans support these rights, that those rights are going to be legally protected, especially in wake of the Dobbs decision. There's now a conservative majority on the Supreme Court, and there's indication that the rights of same-sex marriage are going to be on the line. You're going to have legal challenges from conservative groups who are going to be fighting to roll back those rights. And I think that this is just a good reminder that those rights shouldn't be taken for granted, that it's going to take political organizing, and that elections have consequences.
All right, that is the CEO of PRRI, Melissa Deckman. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, Frank. Yeah. So Frank, basically what she's saying is that this LGBT thing is about to pop. It's a charade.
Right.
Let me tell you something. There was a couple other articles on here, but I'm gonna get to them tomorrow. They talking about fungi is gonna be the next health crisis. So I ain't get to all that night. We get to this another night or whatever. You know, a couple other things. Self-target is saying that you can't order 10 items off of self-checkout. Well, I don't go to Target anyway, because Target is way deep into the trans stuff. They are like too far gone. So I don't even go waste my time. But nevertheless, this LGBTQ thing is blowing up people's faces. They got another article up here talking about, you know, why Black women face mistreatment in areas and things like that. We're getting to all that maybe tomorrow. But what I'm saying is, you know, I had a woman tell me, you know, I was talking to her. She said, "Oh, I identify as queer. What's that? I don't know what I am." You don't know what with y'all. We switch. You know what? I was in a restaurant the other day. Matter of fact, nice black owned restaurant down here, Kroger Spot, the other night. Man, I took a picture of it. I think I put it in our group chat. Man, look, I went to the bathroom. I went to the left. I saw a bathroom, and I said, God damn. It had all gender bathroom on the sign, man. I said, wait a minute. But it had 3 logos up there. One was a woman, one was a man. I forgot what the other one was. I don't even want to waste my time. I said, come on, man. Stop doing this crap. It is dehumanized. Well, it ain't about it. It dehumanized the women when they got to say a bathroom called all gender. Look, I'm a firm believer in me. I don't even like this unisex bathroom shit. Men restroom, women restroom. All right, just saying. I mean, of course, if you're in your house, but you got to think about it. Women got different needs in the bathroom, and men got different needs in the bathroom. It is what it is. I'm not talking about, I ain't trying to get on the women too hard. I ain't talking about using the bathroom for 20, 30 minutes to take pictures on Instagram in the damn bathroom in the mirror and shit. But what I am saying, come on, man. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, like, come on. Like, you really got to change your establishment to do that shit, man. I just wanted to get me some fish and broccoli, man. That's all I wanted, man. And I said, God damn. I said, let me take a picture of this shit, man. I said, well, let me go to the other bathroom on the other side. This might be the all gender bathroom. And then the next one, both of them all gender bathroom. What's the point of having 2 damn bathrooms then? I don't get it. But, you know, it is what it is, man. But, you know, after we got on the phone with her too, Chak did. Frank, Chak was supposed to be on, but Frank did. The stream started freezing up. Yeah, it's been freezing up a lot tonight. I guess when I come on, you know, they said, we know that damn conspiracy theory is coming on. So let's knock him down. But guess what? I done got to the point where you can call me a conspiracy theorist, anti-Semite, whatever you want to call me, homophobe. I just don't give a damn. Call me whatever you want. Don't bother me. Because I know when they calling me names or calling us names, that means you're doing something right. If they ain't calling you no name, you just another fly on the wall. That's going to hit with a fly swatter. But by the way, speaking of flies, watch out for cicadas coming out. They already told you the cicadas coming out this year. Don't know how they know, but they must be ready to launch them, right?
I know, right? I was in know. I know exactly the time and everything.
Destroy crop.
They know exactly what time and everything. These motherfuckers is clever, man.
Yeah. Look, they call you conspiracy, they call you anti-Semite, they call you this, that, you know. And by the way, Frank, hold on, man. Wait a minute, man. Frank.
What happened?
Man, hold on, man. I got to do this, man. I forgot. You're right. I am a conspiracy theorist because I found this out, Frank, yesterday. And I want you to read these 15 points. They said 15 reasons that cause heart attacks, Frank.
Damn.
And one of the reasons on there was getting out of bed in the morning. I'm like, come on.
Get out of bed? Damn.
You can't make this stuff up.
That's really stressful.
Like, come on, man. Are you serious, man? Huh?
That's really unhealthy.
Oh my God,
right?
Frank. Man. Hey, wait a minute, man. Come on. Now look, you know what they doing to me, Frank? They still won't let me log into my account from 2 weeks ago when they logged me out. Ain't this some shit, man?
You talking about with a StreamYard?
Yeah, with Facebook. Yeah.
For Facebook? Oh, yeah, Facebook.
I'm trying to pull it up, man. Oh my God.
Whatever.
Wait a minute. They are really tripping. Wow. I ain't going through all that. Now, you know what? I'm going to log this shit another time. Just let me pull it up on my phone. Shit. You ready to get, Frank, you ready to get laugh, man?
Man.
Hey, man. You gonna get a laugh, man. Like I had a woman say, BJ, you laugh like you on some laughing gas. I said, you can't help but laugh at this dumb shit. This shit funny as hell, man.
And it's funny how, a lot of other people don't be catching this shit, man.
Unexpected heart attack triggers. I'm not sure you can see that, but here we go. The number one reason for heart attacks, lack of sleep.
Is that a real fact?
Migraine headaches is number 2. Migraine
is that a
headaches
fact?
number 2. Huh?
Lack of sleep, is that true? Lack of sleep?
Man, look here, man. Cold weather is another cause of heart attacks. Air pollution and car exhaust. Air pollution and sitting in traffic may be especially dangerous. Can combine car fumes with anger and frustration. A big heavy meal also can cause a heart attack.
What?
Strong emotions, negative or positive. It can be triggered by the kind of emotions that go along with a surprise birthday party, a wedding, or the birth of a grandchild. So don't have no surprise birthday parties or weddings or the birth of your grandchild because you might have a heart attack. Just go ahead and stay your ass in the goddamn house. Don't do shit. All right? Sudden or intense exertion. 6% of heart attacks are triggered by extreme effort. A cold or the flu can cause a heart attack. Asthma. 70% chance if you have this lung disease or asthma. Getting out of bed in the morning. Heart attacks are more common in the morning. Your brain floods your body with hormones to wake you up, and that puts some extra stress on your heart. You also may be dehydrated after a long sleep because you make your heart work harder too. Disasters, the earthquakes or terrorist attacks can cause heart attacks. Right. All right, Frank, this is the big one. The number 12 cause of heart attacks is sex. Like many forms of exercise, sexual activity has been linked to a risk of heart attacks. It's a small one if you're fitting in good health. But for most people, sex can and should be an important and healthy part of life. But talk to your doctor if you have concerns. I ain't calling no doctor on this shit. Spectator sports. If you watch sports, it could cause a heart attack. Right. Alcohol can cause a heart attack. And the last part is coffee. Man, you just came on at the last minute, man. And I'm just about to click off here, man. You came on at the very last minute. How you?
Man, I hear y'all over here talking this shenanigans, nigga. That's what I hear. Huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. But hey, man, don't have sex, man. It cause you a heart attack, man. Okay, don't cause sex.
Man, see, what they get people ready for the metaverse. Well, they just trying to better usher you into the metaverse, nigga. And with all these sex dolls and all this, VR, virtual reality sex and stuff.
Yeah. Well, look. Now look. Check this out. Before I go, Shaq, because we've been on here for over 2 hours. But I want you to hear something. I want you to hear one thing before I go. See, I would be your friend if I didn't play.
Look, this March Madness, man.
Dawson, she came in.
March Madness, baby.
She called in.
Who?
March Madness?
It is March Madness.
Yeah. Who called in? You
Yeah,
said
it's
somebody
March
called in?
Madness.
Talked about Instagram, we've talked about Twitter or X, and you've seen my back and forth with Elon Musk, but we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zion with no repercussions. I've got to ask Chuck about it.
Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt. TikTok is Al Jazeera on steroids. He said it's amplifying anti-Semitism.
Look here, man. We already know what the game is. See? When it's too many of us, you know what I'm saying? When we doing something, when we making waves, it shakes them to their core, yo. They bones get crackling. They get the crackling, man.
Man, leave him. Hey, look, man, leave him, man. Leave him, man. Hey, look, man, leave him, man. Jonathan Greenblatt alone. Leave him alone. He get mad now. He calling you conspiracy theory. He get mad. Greenblatt get ready to throw you into the pulpit. Pulling you in the pit. Hey, look. You girl been like that was they call the church pew a pulpit, and the word always dictate the agenda.
Of course.
But Shaq, look. But let's say this, because we've been on a while. So this is what I'm gonna say. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna come back on probably about 8:39, right? About 7 your time, 7:30, something like your time, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna bring up a few of these issues. I gotta talk about this thing. They talking about fungi gonna be the next health crisis. Fungi, yeah, right. Mushrooms and shit, right? Probably right. Whatever. Then they talk about. I also played the clip earlier when you went on about Kamala Harris and Fat Joe, and they were talking about. She was talking about that something needs to be done about this crack cocaine and powder cocaine thing. She was like, the laws are ridiculous. Your boss did it. Your boss was the one who ushered that legislation in. Right? Come on. And then, of course, we had her abortion claim.
She's slick. Oh, she's slick, Bernard, because who is the biggest name right now, right, in the media that they keep not really talking about? They get caught with that stuff right now. Who the biggest dopehead?
White boys?
That's a question. Yeah. Who is the biggest dopehead right now? Specifically. Yeah, I know white boys, but specifically.
Oh, Hispanics?
That they keep not talking about. Who?
Not Hispanics, is it?
No, man.
Not Hispanics,
You right on it. Man, Biden's son, man. You tripping too.
Oh, I said white boys.
I said Pacific, his son.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, y'all worried about, decriminalizing cocaine and drugs. Come on, man. See what I'm saying? Y'all got to look the play up, G. They set y'all up for the. Come on, man. Y'all got to watch the play. They done lock your uncle to bring.
Hey, look.
Hey.
Hey. And then she went to the abortion clinic and she said, women need to stop being denied the right to health care. She said they're trying to take women back to the 1800s. I'm like, oh, boy.
How would you know how it was in the 1800s, though?
Jeez. She got a time machine, man.
She might.
But look.
You know what's crazy about this? Women actually fall for this shit. The females be actually falling for that kind of shit, bro. That rhetoric, that bullshit ass lies and statements and shit. You can't tell them what to do with their bodies, like the child, I can see women have babies by themselves, but I mean, are they having babies by themselves? What do they mean, their body? Like, what do they like?
Hey, man,
like that child ain't yours. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man. Tomorrow night, matter of fact, wait a minute. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna do something. It may be unpopular. I'm gonna play a video of the Crimson Cure on my channel. Yes, the hell I am gonna do this shit tomorrow night. So just wait for it, goddammit. I'm about to bust the head off the fucking brain. Fuck this. This is small time.
You might get strike, man.
But
hey, you might get. Hey, let me tell you. Hey, let me tell y'all. Watch this, yo. Hey, they struck my boy Aboriginal Power, right? They struck his channel. They blocked his channel the other day. Guess for what? Guess for why?
What?
Man, he was playing the movie Roots, Nick.
What?
Talking about a copyright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Huh?
They're not supposed to strike your channel. They're supposed to just give you a warning and tell you they're supposed to just remove the video and that's it. They ain't supposed to give you no strike.
No, I think they had blocked him, but
it's called
today I think he had. You say he had sent it, like.
Man.
He said they had sent like. He said he had sent YouTube like 15 different emails. I guess they must have unblocked it now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he was like, man, he was playing the movie Roots.
They don't do that to nobody else's channels but ours. You notice that?
I noticed. Yeah, I noticed that.
They don't like that.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna copyright every video, every image, every video, every audio that we play on these channels. Everybody play on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. All these are copyrights. So why do y'all pick and choose who y'all want to give the copyright strike?
Right.
They own the copyright. Somebody else content. Come on, man.
Everybody plays everybody else's content all day. Why do they? That's part.
That's what they do, man.
Hey,
that says a lot.
Hey, look. Yeah,
That's because we telling our own stories now.
Yeah,
myself. Well, that's what I'm gonna say. I hope we all go to bed tonight and we wake up in the morning. I forgot. I mean, we all prone to have a heart attack, you know, because we're going to sleep.
Well,
so these people are unbelievable.
Well,
it's so funny.
But look, I wish you'd have played that clip that I sent you when they was talking about the lead paint. But they probably done blocked this motherfucker. See, they don't want real information out, yo. I noticed.
No. You know what? I ain't gonna play it off here. Well, I can do it, but I gotta log into my account and stuff. Like I just tried to log into my account 5 minutes ago. I'm like, what the hell? They still got me logged out from. Well, that probably I ain't never logged back in after that day when Facebook had that major log out. Remember I told you the other day, McDonald's went offline the other day. Their stores had to close. They had some outlets. Told you South Africa, Nigeria, those countries over there that were against Israel, the internet went out.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's tyranny, man. These people are on global tyranny.
America, the internet been going out for more than 5 hours, bro. They've been running a lot of tests lately. Remember that thing? This is not a test. This is not a test. This is not a test. Remember that thing you say? This is not a test.
System.
Oh, this is a test.
I'm be honest.
Hey,
I'm telling you, Bernard, we need to get some more walkie-talkies, like some, and you need to keep one of those in your bases, like I say, a base location for, you know what I'm saying, so you can transmit, you know what I'm saying, with your people or people around, you know, for real. They on some wicked stuff, man. Some deep wicked stuff, yo.
So much for the good weather. It was 70 degrees all weekend. It was 80 degrees on Thursday, back to 56 tomorrow. So it is. Matter of fact, it's 60 degrees right now. That's how funny it is. But it'll be 56 tomorrow for the
Yeah, we was getting ready. It's been a little cold. It's been a little cold this whole weekend for us too. Rainy, kind of, you know, dreary. You know, windy.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. Well, look, I'm just gonna say this. You know, I'm gonna call y'all tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. I mean, y'all should be alive. I mean, you know, let me just make this. Let me stop. Just make sure you don't have no sex because you might have a heart attack.
Man, they really said that too. Is that true? Hey, Chak, that's not.
Ooh,
I mean, that's bullshit, right?
You said what now?
You having sex, that can't trigger no damn heart attack, right?
Oh
man, the only way they trigger a heart attack, dude, unless you already got some type of cardiovascular problem already. You know what I'm saying? When you got half your the heart or something blocked, or something's already got blockage. That's the only way. That means running up a step, walking up steps, you can. But if you got a normal, regular heart, there's not gonna ain't nothing like that now. Unless you got those problems that come along with those jiggities. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm
Man,
saying?
look here, man.
It's a
I'm
lack
gonna be
of
dead
sleep.
on with you. I'll be dead on with you, man. I done had sex with a woman who had a pacemaker and she didn't even have no heart attack. Man, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.
Damn.
Come on, man. Come on, man. God damn.
Yeah, they wild, man.
But y'all go ahead and take your time. I'll be back on tomorrow night.
All right. Yo. All right,
Yo.
peace out, man.
Got you.